Hi everyone, I got back from church and I just wanted to share a touching moment that I had in the church. When we were praying the Our Father, there were these little Indian children in the church and they were praying louder than any of us. It was so cute. And I saw them there with their mom. They were so cute. And I thought God must have a special place for them in his heart. I used to take the children's liturgy, so I thought of that, and I really enjoyed them. It was so nice to watch. And I was thinking about how when I first came to Canada, and I went to Rotman, Alison Ground was the coordinator there for the Rotman executive programs. And so she was the one that took me in, that made me feel welcome, that introduced me to the dean and the lecturers, because I was very new to Canada and I didn't know anybody. So when I joined, I had to have the interview with her and with the dean to be accepted, because I came with international management experience and they wouldn't take me in at first. So yeah, I just thought of that, and I thought how enthusiastic we are when we're children and how we can keep that enthusiasm into our old age and into whatever we're doing. I also had the opportunity there to meet Paul Martin. That was where I met him at one of the talks, and that was when I had joined the Liberals, because he was the one that convinced me he said just try to join in, go to events, and he said things will get better. I wonder what he would say to me now if he had to meet me. Because when I came to Canada, I came because I had heard of him, and I had heard what a great country Canada was and what opportunities it had, and also to be with my family and to do my studies as a spiritual director. And it was nice to meet him. He was very down to earth. He didn't make me feel like, oh, I am the Prime Minister of Canada, and you, who are you? So he was very nice. And then I met Jean Chrétien as well, and he was also the same way. And also the Honorable Mr. McLean, I met him in Waterloo, and they were all very, very nice to me. They were all very genuine, and it was a privilege to meet them. And I was just thinking, look at how Canada is now, and all those years and years and years of hard work that I put in, and I still can't get a decent job. It's very strange. It's very strange that that's what happened. And I often think, I wonder if Paul Martin told Justin Trudeau and all these people that don't make time for me that he met me and that he knows me, and Walter McLean and also Jean Chrétien, and I wonder if they told him, and Stephen Harper also. But it is what it is. They say it's who you know that gets you your jobs, but I think for me, there certainly hasn't been the case, because I've spent most of my time in Canada pounding the pavement, sending out online applications, going to job fairs, networking. So I wonder how much of that is true. But definitely I've proven myself in this country, and I will continue to do that. I don't know whether I'm going to land up in America. It's a bit scary to see the way that Donald Trump was talking about invading Canada, and Canada's been invaded before by the Americans and been defeated. So let's see. I don't know. I'm more of a gentler kind of soul, and I enjoyed my time in England. And yeah, I don't know how well I would do in America. I don't think I'm aggressive enough, but you never know. And all of my supervisors here have been Canadian, or they've been Africans who have come from Africa, including at Teleperformance. So I don't know. But we'll see where the Lord opens up the next opportunity and where he takes me and what his plans are. I'm going to focus on my next chapter, do my John Maxwell, and then I'll post that and I'll get online and apply for jobs. But I was hoping Teleperformance would find something else for me where I don't have to do these stupid tests and I can go into a management position or a supervisor position, because that's where I was working at that executive level in the banks, at HSBC, at BMO, at all the companies I worked at. I worked at the executive level, and I worked as an executive assistant in project coordination. So I just have to wait and see what comes. But yeah, it was a very touching moment, and I just enjoyed them. I enjoyed listening to those little children praying, and I thought, I hope your lives are easier and smoother than mine has been, particularly for people who are coming into Canada. It's quite disheartening to see how opportunities, people are cheating, they're using their phones to pass exams, and they're getting onto the floor, they're getting into those jobs. And people like me who are honest, who are doing right by Canada, who are supporting America for the right reasons, and England, we don't get those opportunities. So it's quite sad, but I'm hoping that the Jesuits will help me. They'll put out a word for me, including in England, so that I can actually get an income coming in. Because, I mean, if my sister hadn't helped me with food, I wouldn't have any food this month. So, you know, I don't see them that often, but I was there for all of them, including my brother-in-law. So, you know, it's just strange how this life has worked out for me. It's just strange. Even if you talk to any of my supervisors from Teleperformance, they'll all vouch for me and how good I am and how I achieve my targets and made Employee of the Month so many times. So I really don't know. It's very strange how things have gone for me, and that I can't even get a temporary job as an executive assistant or admin. And I see many of them being advertised through Randstad and Quantum and Altus HR and all these places. And I think it is sad. Would I be willing to give up my Canadian citizenship to become an American? I don't think I would, because this is the country that took me in. This is the country that gave me the opportunity. And yes, it's hard. It's very hard. But it's 20 times harder in America. And if you don't know somebody that's going to open that door for you, give you the referrals, help you, it becomes very, very difficult. Because I've gone through the same things that my mother's gone through, that my uncles have gone through, not being able to get a room to rent in a house because you don't earn enough. And then every time you get into a good position, they let you go. So it's discrimination. And if people are accusing me of discrimination, they must be kidding. I came here from an apartheid society and you're accusing me of discrimination. They need to wake up. It's really ridiculous. It's ridiculous to accuse me and my sister of discrimination and being delusional. It's ridiculous. I don't even see my sister that often. I saw her over 5 years ago. When my mother got married, that's when I saw her. And I wouldn't have even seen her then. I had to take that day off, and I had a course that day for my aromatherapy. But because I wanted to be there to support my mother in her decision, I missed that class, and I could only make it up about 4 years later because we had COVID after that, and then they couldn't find a teacher, and then eventually I got that compressed class. But I was practicing in the meantime, and Sandy Powell told us, once you complete your courses and I grade you and you pass, you can practice, you can make up your makeup class later. So it's just been one thing after another, but I'm glad I went to church today. And I also prayed for my grandpa, my Papa Ama, and for his soul to rest in peace. And yeah, it was nice to go in the morning, because I probably won't go out now because it's really very, very cold today. But I'm grateful for that food that I got because of my sister. And there were times they didn't have food when I also bought food when I was staying with them. But it wasn't easy for me, and I hope that this last leg of the journey is going to be easier, because I'm not making any more trips to America for Christmas and all that. Even if they invite me, I'm not going to go, because even if my uncles don't like traveling at Christmas time, nobody does. But we made the effort, we sacrificed because we love them and we wanted to be with them, and they didn't appreciate it. That they're saying I didn't appreciate it, but they didn't appreciate it because they had money, they had cars, they had big houses. For me, I had nothing. I went on my credit. I used my overdraft to go and see them because I love them. And they're telling me I don't appreciate anything that was done for me. I'm not going to go anymore. I'm just going to stay here. It would be the same as if Bono said to me, oh, you don't appreciate any opportunity that I gave you. I would resign from the One campaign. I'd be like, you must be kidding. I've helped you for 20 years and that's what you're saying to me. I would leave. So, because it's also my life, it's my time, and I know what it's like to be treated well as a volunteer through HRPA. I know what it's like to be supported. And I would love to have those opportunities that like Ndidi has, to travel, to meet world leaders, to be that voice that goes out. That's what I was aiming for with my John Maxwell and with my spiritual direction. And if you go onto my website, healingremembered.com, you go to the first blog post, you can see my vision statement there. So I'm still going to keep working towards that. Unfortunately for me, it's not going to be with Bono, which was what myself and Sister Kathleen McAlpin and Father Michael Kalachik had hoped for, because he's not on the board anymore. But I'm sure God will open something else for me. And for those of you who don't know Sting, I'd encourage you to listen to his last message, because he's so nice. He gives you, like when he communicates, he gives you an invitation, he gives you a message, and then he gives you an action. And that's what we do as activists. So activists are very nice people. We're not people to be feared. But yeah, I'm disappointed with how the Liberal government has gone. And I don't know really what the older generation thinks of Paul Martin and Jean Chrétien and all of those people. But for me, it's very disappointing, because the people who did the work, the people who supported them, the people that went and helped them when they got elected, that went out knocking on doors, that wrote the emails, that helped with the church, we are not doing well financially in this country. And the same with the Conservatives. Whatever I did for all the political parties. And with the Liberals, I got involved very, very cautiously after Paul Martin invited me. I never joined for many, many years. I never joined. I just observed, I watched, and I had hoped with Justin Trudeau coming in that things would change for me and for our family. But they just got worse and worse and worse. So it's quite sad. It's quite sad. And he should have stayed on and just called a fair election and not made it about the party, because at the end of the day, he's the leader. Whatever policies they made, whatever decisions they made, he had the final say. So it's not about the party. And if they put somebody in there that's going to be just like him, things are not going to get better for us, for people like me, who are hardworking, who are honest, who went out, who helped the political parties, who helped them set up their barbecues, their Canada Day events, the Filipino events. They won't get better. They'll get better for the crooks. And I certainly hope that's not going to be the case. It's sad for Paul Martin, because he was good.